Hello friends, welcome back to our channel dedicated to health, longevity, and safe living. Today we are diving into a very important topic that could change the way you store your groceries. Many of us believe that the refrigerator is the safest place for all foods. After all, cold temperatures prevent spoilage, right? But here's the truth. Not all foods belong in the fridge. In fact, some common items, when stored in cold conditions, can undergo chemical changes that may increase health risks, and yes, even raise the risk of cancer. Before we start, let me reassure you, the purpose of this video is not to scare you, but to inform you. By knowing which foods to keep out of the fridge and how to store them safely, you can protect your health and the health of your loved ones. Now, let's explore the 6 foods you should never store in the fridge, starting with the most surprising ones.
Your health journey matters. Subscribe to Healix, tap the bell to stay inspired with every new video, and share this with your loved ones so they can thrive alongside you.
Food number 1, tomatoes. Tomatoes are a staple in American kitchens. We slice them into salads, add them to sandwiches, or cook them into sauces. But did you know that refrigerating tomatoes can actually harm both their flavor and their health properties? Texture and flavor loss. Cold temperatures damage the cell walls inside a tomato, making it mushy and tasteless. You might have noticed how a refrigerated tomato feels grainy when you bite into it. That's a sign of damage. Nutritional changes. Tomatoes are rich in lycopene, a powerful antioxidant linked to reduced cancer risk, especially prostate and breast cancer. However, storing them in the fridge can slow down lycopene development. The redder and riper the tomato, the more lycopene it contains, but refrigeration stops this process in its tracks. Potential health concern. If tomatoes lose their natural protective compounds because of improper storage, you're reducing one of your best natural defenses against oxidative stress and cancer. What to do instead? Keep tomatoes on the countertop at room temperature, away from direct sunlight. If they're overripe and you can't use them right away, consider cooking them into a sauce or soup instead of sticking them in the fridge. Cooking actually boosts lycopene bioavailability. Potato food number 2, potatoes. Many seniors store potatoes in the fridge, believing the cold will make them last longer. Unfortunately, this is a big mistake. Cold converts starch to sugar. When potatoes are refrigerated, their starch rapidly turns into sugar. When these sugary potatoes are later cooked, especially roasted, baked, or fried, they produce higher levels of acrylamide, a chemical classified as a probable human carcinogen by the International Agency for Research on Cancer, IRC. Cancer risk connection. Acrylamide forms during high-heat cooking of starchy foods. Studies suggest that long-term exposure to acrylamide may increase the risk of cancers like kidney, ovarian, and endometrial cancer. While one serving won't harm you instantly, a lifetime of eating foods cooked this way adds up. Nutrient degradation. Cold conditions also reduce vitamin C content in potatoes, which seniors need for immune support and collagen production. What to do instead? Store potatoes in a cool, dark place like a pantry or basement. Keep them in a breathable paper or burlap bag, not plastic. And if they sprout green spots, cut them out generously or discard the potato, because solanine, a natural toxin, may be present. Food number 3, bananas. Bananas are one of the easiest snacks, full of potassium and fiber. but putting them in the fridge is not doing your health any favors. Cold damage. The skin turns black quickly, and while the inside may stay firm, the cold interferes with the banana's natural ripening process. Nutrient loss. Bananas contain dopamine and catecholamines, compounds with antioxidant properties. If ripening stops prematurely in the fridge, the fruit won't develop these protective compounds fully. Digestive concern. Seniors with sensitive digestion may notice that cold-stored bananas taste starchier and harder to digest because the conversion from starch to sugar slows down in the fridge. Cancer connection. While bananas themselves are not carcinogenic, the problem comes when people throw away ripe ones and rely instead on underripe fruit. Underripe bananas are harder to digest and don't offer the same antioxidant protection. Over time, reduced antioxidant intake means less protection against cellular mutations linked to cancer. What to do instead? Keep bananas at room temperature. If they ripen too fast, peel and freeze them in airtight bags for smoothies. Freezing is different from refrigerating. It halts ripening without damaging nutrient content. Food number 4. Onions. Onions give flavor to nearly every savory dish, but they don't belong in the fridge unless they're already peeled or chopped. Moisture absorption. In the fridge, onions absorb moisture and become mushy. This makes them prone to mold and bacteria growth. Toxin formation risk. Moldy onions may develop mycotoxins, which are harmful compounds linked to cancer. Even if only part of an onion is moldy, spores may have spread throughout the bulb. Nutrient preservation. Onions are high in quercetin, a flavonoid with anti-inflammatory and anti-cancer properties. Improper storage can reduce quercetin levels, leaving you with less protective benefit. What to do instead? Store whole onions in a cool, dry, ventilated area. Keep them away from potatoes because gases from potatoes speed up onion spoilage. Once cut, you can refrigerate onions in a sealed container, but only for a few days. Food number 5. Bread. Many households put bread straight into the fridge to make it last. Sadly, this habit not only ruins the bread's taste and texture, but may also raise potential health risks. Staling process. Cold temperatures accelerate the crystallization of starch molecules, making bread go stale faster. You end up with dry, tough slices. Mold risk. While refrigeration slows mold growth a bit, once mold appears, it spreads invisibly. Some molds release mycotoxins, including aflatoxin, which is a potent liver carcinogen. Hidden danger. Seniors sometimes cut off the visible mold and eat the rest, thinking it's safe. Unfortunately, mold roots penetrate deeper than the eye can see, and toxins may still be present. What to do instead? Keep bread at room temperature in a bread box for a few days. For longer storage, freeze slices and toast them when needed. Freezing halts mold growth without creating carcinogenic risks. Food number 6. Leafy greens, spinach, kale, lettuce. This one surprises many people because leafy greens are often sold in refrigerated sections. But here's the nuance. Storing them incorrectly in your fridge can make them dangerous. Nutrient breakdown. When leafy greens are damp and cold, they lose vitamin C and folate rapidly. These nutrients are essential for DNA repair and cancer prevention. Nitrate conversion. Leafy greens naturally contain nitrates, which are harmless. However, When stored too long in cold, damp conditions, bacteria can convert nitrates into nitrites. Excess nitrites, when combined with proteins in the stomach, may form nitrosamines, compounds with strong links to stomach and colon cancer. Practical risk. If you buy pre-washed bags of salad mix and forget them in the fridge, you're not just losing nutrients. You may be encouraging the development of harmful compounds. What to do instead? Store leafy greens dry and crisp. Wrap them loosely in a paper towel and keep them in a breathable container in the crisper drawer. Use them quickly, within 2 to 3 days. Or blanch and freeze greens for longer preservation. We've now uncovered 6 common foods that you should never store in the fridge if you care about preserving nutrients and avoiding long-term cancer risks. Tomatoes lose protective lycopene. Potatoes create acrylamide when chilled then cooked. Bananas stop ripening and lose antioxidants. Onions become mold-prone. Bread develops invisible mycotoxins. Leafy greens may form nitrosamines if neglected. These aren't just kitchen tips, they're life-saving practices. Remember, cancer risk is about lifetime exposure. Small changes in how you store food today can add up to decades of protection tomorrow. This time, we're focusing on solutions. Because it's one thing to know what not to do, but it's far more empowering to know exactly what to do instead. We'll talk about safe storage methods, cancer preventive practices, and simple changes you can make in your kitchen right now. Remember, longevity isn't about complicated medical treatments. It's about small, consistent daily habits that protect your body and mind. Now, let's continue the journey. Safe storage solutions for each food. Tomatoes, protecting lycopene and flavor. We already know tomatoes lose their cancer-fighting lycopene potential in the fridge. So what's the alternative? Countertop method. Keep them stem side down on a flat surface at room temperature. This minimizes air exposure through the stem scar and slows spoilage. Paper bag ripening. If tomatoes are underripe, put them in a paper bag with a ripe banana or apple. The ethylene gas accelerates ripening naturally. Cook and preserve. If you have too many ripe tomatoes, cook them into a sauce, soup, or stew. Heat doesn't destroy lycopene. It makes it more bioavailable to your body. Store these sauces in the freezer for long-term use. Key takeaway: let your tomatoes ripen fully outside the fridge. Then cook or freeze for longevity and maximum cancer protection. Potatoes, avoiding acrylamide formation. Potatoes stored in the fridge convert starch to sugar, raising acrylamide levels during cooking. Instead, cool, dark place. Store potatoes in a pantry, cellar, or cabinet that stays around 45 to 50 degrees Fahrenheit. Not the fridge. Ventilation. Use a paper or burlap bag, not plastic. Potatoes need airflow to prevent moisture buildup. Cooking method matters. Instead of frying, try steaming or boiling. Both reduce acrylamide formation dramatically. If you roast or bake, avoid excessive browning. Golden is safer than dark brown. Seniors tip: pair potatoes with antioxidant-rich foods like broccoli, garlic, or rosemary. Antioxidants help neutralize free radicals formed during cooking. Bananas, maintaining antioxidant benefits. Bananas hate the cold. But what's the right way to store them? Room temperature ripening. Place bananas on the counter. If you want to slow down ripening, separate the bunch. Bananas ripen slower individually. Wrap the stems. Use plastic wrap or foil on the stem ends. This slows ethylene gas release and gives you 2 to 3 extra days of freshness. Freezer method. Once fully ripe, peel, slice, and freeze in airtight bags. Use for smoothies, banana bread, or oatmeal. Freezing preserves nutrients without disrupting ripening chemistry. Smart swap. Seniors with blood sugar concerns should eat bananas with protein or fiber, like nuts or yogurt, to prevent glucose spikes. Onions, preserving quercetin. Cold conditions turn onions soggy and mold-prone. Here's what to do. Cool and ventilated storage. Keep whole onions in a mesh bag in a cool, dry spot. Airflow is essential. Away from potatoes. Remember, potatoes and onions don't get along. Together, they release gases that accelerate spoilage. Freezing option. Chop onions and flash freeze them on a tray before transferring to a bag. Use for cooking directly from the freezer. Health hack. Quercetin in onions is more bioavailable when onions are lightly cooked. Sautéing or simmering works better than raw. Reminder, discard moldy onions completely. Mycotoxins may be invisible but harmful. Bread, avoiding mycotoxins. Refrigeration accelerates bread staling and doesn't fully protect against mold. Safer options include bread box or counter. Store at room temperature in a cool, dry spot for up to 3 days. Freezing slices. Freeze in portion-sized bags. Toast or warm directly from the freezer. Freezing halts mold without chemical changes. Whole grain bonus. Choose whole grain bread. Higher fiber intake reduces colon cancer risk. Plus, whole grains freeze better than white bread. Pro tip: never scrape mold off bread and eat it. Mold toxins spread deeper than you can see. Always discard moldy bread. Leafy greens, preventing nitrosamine formation. Leafy greens are cancer fighters when fresh, but risky when stored damp and cold for too long. Dry storage. Wash greens only before use. Moisture speeds spoilage. Wrap in a paper towel and place inside a perforated container. Crisper drawer use. Keep at the middle setting, not too cold. Greens should stay crisp, but not freeze. Quick turnaround. Plan to eat greens within 2 to 3 days of purchase. Don't buy huge bags unless you can use them fast. Freezing option: blanch spinach, kale, or chard quickly in boiling water, then freeze. This halts bacterial activity and nutrient loss. Bonus senior tip: pair greens with vitamin C-rich foods like citrus or bell peppers. Vitamin C blocks nitrosamine formation in the stomach, lowering cancer risk. Cancer prevention and food storage psychology. Now that we've covered storage strategies, let's zoom out to the bigger picture. Cumulative risk. Cancer doesn't come from one bad tomato or one slice of stale bread. It's about repeated exposure to harmful compounds like acrylamide, nitrosamines, and mycotoxins. Empowerment mindset. By storing foods correctly, you're not just preventing waste, you're actively lowering your risk of DNA damage and chronic disease. Seniors advantage. Many older adults eat smaller portions, but what matters most is nutrient density. Proper storage ensures every bite counts toward your health, not against it. Practical kitchen tips for seniors. 1. Label and date everything. Write the purchase date on produce bags and containers. This helps you rotate foods and use older items first. 2. Smaller batches. Buy fresh produce in smaller amounts more frequently instead of stocking up too much. Fresher food means fewer risks. 3. Batch cooking. Cook once, eat multiple times. For example, make a large pot of vegetable soup and freeze in smaller portions. This avoids spoilage and maximizes nutrient preservation. 4. Use glass, not plastic. Store leftovers in glass containers. Plastics can leach chemicals, especially when reheated, adding another layer of risk. 5. Check temperature. Keep your fridge at 37 to 40 degrees Fahrenheit and your freezer at 0 degrees Fahrenheit. Proper fridge temperature prevents bacterial growth without freezing delicate foods. The longevity connection. The Japanese, who enjoy some of the longest lifespans in the world, are very intentional with food handling. They eat smaller portions, avoid waste, and prioritize freshness. This isn't just cultural, it's scientifically protective. By contrast, in the U.S., convenience often overrides careful storage. Plastic-wrapped bread sits in the fridge, potatoes chill in drawers, and forgotten salad mixes wilt in the back corner. Each of these small habits, repeated daily, can quietly undermine health. But the good news is, change is simple. A shift in storage can mean a shift in long-term health outcomes. Inspiring call to action for seniors. Friends, let me leave you with this. Your kitchen is your first pharmacy. The way you store food either preserves its healing power or silently creates risks. Think of every tomato, potato, or slice of bread as an investment in your future health. By treating your foods with care, you are treating yourself with care. And remember, you don't need fancy supplements or expensive products to fight cancer. The most powerful tool is already in your hands: knowledge. So, let's recap the golden rules. Keep tomatoes on the counter. Store potatoes in a cool, dark place. Ripen bananas outside the fridge. Keep onions dry and ventilated. Freeze bread instead of refrigerating. Handle leafy greens quickly and carefully. Simple steps, but life-changing outcomes. Stay tuned for more videos where we share practical, science-based tips to help you live not just longer, but healthier and happier.